The HOA president literally screamed that my legally purchased cabin was her son's inheritance. What she didn't know was that I'd already found the 1873 land grant proving I owned half the valley, and that her family had been squatting illegally for over a century and a half. Picture this. I'm out there chainsawing rotted boards off my beautiful 150-year-old cabin when a white Mercedes screeches up the dirt road. Out storms Delilah Thornwick, 50-something, blonde highlights, face red as a steamed crab. Stop. You're destroying Bradley's birthright. I killed a chainsaw. The sudden silence hangs thick, broken only by her ragged breathing and the sweet scent of fresh-cut pine drifting between us. Lady, I bought this place fair and square. She actually laughs. Some county auction doesn't erase a century of family history. Poor Delilah. She had no idea the basement documents would cost her everything. My name is Marcus Holloway. I'm 45. 6 months earlier, my life had imploded. 20-year marriage gone. Suburban dream house sold to pay divorce lawyers who charge more per hour than I made in a day. But here's the thing about hitting rock bottom. Sometimes it's exactly where you find your footing. My grandfather always said, Marcus, work with your hands and you'll never starve. He taught me carpentry when I was 12, showed me how to read with grain like scripture. When he passed, he left me his tools and $37,000 with a note. Build something that matters. So there I was, scrolling county auction listings at 2 a.m. When I found her, this gorgeous 1873 log cabin estate on 15 acres in Millbrook Valley, population 847, where old money meets new McMansions in an uncomfortable stare-down. The preview walkthrough hit me with the musty smell of century-old timber. Those weren't just logs. They were hand-hewn beams thick as my waist, fitted with craftsmanship you can't buy anymore. I ran calloused fingers along the rough surfaces and felt something I hadn't in years. Pure possibility. Auction day was beautiful chaos. My $47,000 beat out some preppy kid in a BMW who kept texting frantically, probably begging mommy for more money. Clean title, verified paperwork. Done deal. That's when Hurricane Delilah entered my life. Day 3 of renovation. I'm replacing rotted porch boards when a pristine white Escalade crunches up my gravel drive like it owns the place. Out steps perfection in designer jeans, blonde highlights, manicured nails, expression like she'd stepped in something unpleasant. Excuse me, she says, voice dripping honey over broken glass. I'm Delilah Thornwick, president of the Millbrook Estates Homeowners Association. My husband Dean owns Thornwick Construction. Perhaps you've heard of us. Local royalty. That explained the attitude. I wiped sawdust off my flannel. Marcus Holloway. What can I help you with? Her smile could cut diamonds. Well, Marcus, this property has complications. You see, it's always been understood that this land was reserved for the Thornwick family. My son, Bradley, had an understanding with Mr. Henderson. What kind of understanding? A gentleman's agreement. Bradley was inheriting this property. It's been in our family's sphere of influence for generations. She said, our family, like announcing nobility. I pull out my deed. Ma'am, according to the county, Henderson died without heirs. That's why it went to auction. The mask slips. Her country club smile vanishes. That auction was premature, she says coldly. This property belongs with people who understand its significance. People who appreciate community standards. The way she said community standards while eyeing my work boots made my skin crawl. Look, I understand you're disappointed, but I bought this legally. I'm not going anywhere. She pulls out her phone, taps something quickly. We'll see about that, she mutters, then clicks toward her SUV, heels tapping in angry rhythm on my stone walkway. Before climbing in, she turns back with that predatory smile. Mr. Holloway, you clearly don't understand how Millbrook Valley works. We have standards here. I suggest you learn them quickly, or you'll find permits very difficult to obtain. The Escalade roars away, kicking up dust that coats everything. As those taillights disappear, the afternoon air carries the distant hum of expensive lawnmowers and the lingering scent of her overpriced perfume. I should have known right then that Delilah Thornwick wasn't just upset about losing property. She was declaring war on someone she considered beneath her station. Big mistake, lady. I've been fighting uphill battles my whole life. The retaliation started small, but got vicious fast. Permits misplaced. A building inspector shows up unannounced with a citation for historical structure modifications without heritage approval and a $2,300 fine for my perfectly legal burn pile of seasoned timber. Anonymous complaints flood every department. Suppliers suddenly have delivery issues in a town of 847 people. Insurance suspended over vague safety concerns. Then the dead animals appeared on my porch one morning. Rabbits, a possum, even what looked like someone's pet cat, arranged like a twisted warning. Tire tracks in the garden soil matched Bradley's BMW perfectly. I installed security cameras. They caught him creeping past at 5 miles per hour, interior light on, photographing my property like a discount private investigator. The final escalation came on a quiet evening. I smelled gasoline on the breeze. Cameras showed a figure in dark clothing carrying a gas can around my workshop. I stepped out with a flashlight. I can see you. Fire department's on the way. He dropped the can and ran. The footage was clear enough. Bradley Thornwick's awkward, entitled gait. That night, the volunteer fire department, Chief Gonzalez, and state police swarmed the place. Attempted arson, Gonzalez said, bagging the can for prints. Plus conspiracy, harassment, stalking, animal cruelty. Your local bullies just graduated to federal criminals. Bradley was arrested the next evening. Handcuffs, flashing lights, Delilah screaming about family connections while her precious son was stuffed into a cruiser. But the real bomb had dropped weeks earlier. While wrestling a sagging floor joist in the basement, my crowbar punched through what I thought was solid stone foundation. Instead of rock, I heard a hollow echo. Behind a loose stone sat a shoebox-sized cavity holding a leather-wrapped bundle that smelled like old paper, leather oil, and secrets fermenting for 150 years. Inside, an official 1873 territorial land grant, signed by the governor, sealed with red wax, granting 50 acres, including mineral, water, and timber rights in perpetuity to Ezekiel Holloway and his heirs. Ezekiel Holloway, my great-great-grandfather. The hand-drawn map showed boundaries that placed the Thornwick ancestral home and most of their McMansion development dead center on Holloway land. Every house, every lot, every dollar of property tax they collected for generations sat on property that legally belonged to me. Experts authenticated it. Paper, ink, wax seal, all period correct. Geological surveys confirmed significant natural gas deposits. The mineral rights lease alone was worth millions. Quiet title action filed. Federal corruption probe launched. FBI interested in the pattern of harassment and official misconduct. Chief Gonzalez's investigation uncovered years of rigged permits favoring Thornwick construction. In the end, the Thornwicks took a plea deal that read like poetic justice. Dean got 2 years for corruption and conspiracy. Bradley got probation and 500 hours restoring historical properties. Delilah faced civil rights charges and sold their company to pay restitution to the 8 families they'd driven out before me. 6 months later, I stood on the fully restored porch of my cabin, watching the first annual Millbrook Valley Heritage Festival unfold across the meadow. Bluegrass music floated on the breeze. Kids laughed. Bob Kettering's barbecue smoked like redemption itself. The cabin gleamed. Museum-quality restoration with modern comforts. Mineral money funded a heritage center in the old barn, college scholarships for local kids studying trades, history, or law. The valley felt lighter without the Thornwick shadow. Sometimes when you're just trying to fix a sagging floor, you end up changing everything. Now, if you've got your own HOA nightmare story, drop it in the comments. Bullies only win when good people stay quiet. As always, stories like this are fictionalized narratives inspired by real-life themes, created for entertainment. Any resemblance to actual people or events is coincidental.